Whoop. Welcome in to the MPW Digital McCready and Siskey Extra Live for the Week 10 preview. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. Wonderful Friday. Happy Halloween to everybody. Hope everybody's going to be nice to the kids. Hope everybody's going to be giving out lots of candy, all that good stuff. Remind everybody on MPW Digital, as always, we are brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Obviously, today is Friday. We'll be going over at the beginning for all you new people. We will do lines and picks for the week. We'll talk about any games that you want to talk about in the chat. And we are the link. If you would like to sign up for BetOnline.ag, who is BetOnline.ag? How about this shirt right here? Can't see it on YouTube. BetOnline.ag is the official sportsbook partner of McCready and Siskey. The link to join us, Uncle TikTok doesn't like links, and neither does YouTube. But you can go on our Instagram and/or our Twitter if you're watching on Twitter right now. The link is in our bio. You will click that link. You will get signed up for BetOnline.ag. Wherever you are located, you can place your bets. You can get up to $250 of free bonus bets and plus a 50% Bitcoin deposit bonus, which is what I use. All right, so I hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate all those guys. Shout out to our good friends at Kia of Meridian. The Kia Meridian chat on YouTube is already bumping, where you can spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5 and Xbox, a TV, and more when you go and purchase or trade in a vehicle at Kia of Meridian. Obviously, thank you to our good friends at County Line Campers. Got my County Line Campers hat on today. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to GetPrime.com, First Bank, Cole Walters, Don Thompson's Paint and Body Shop there in Saraland. Everybody that helps make our show happen. All right, let's get into it. For those that don't know, we're going to knock the picks out, and then after that, we're going to be in a live. Any questions you guys want to talk about, any topics that y'all want to talk about, we'll do this. We'll be with you here about an hour today, and then I'm going to go chase kids and be dad and enjoy. My youngest is 9, and I'm going to enjoy Halloween for a year or two more that I can do it. So there we go. All right, we're going to start this bad boy off. No particular order here because I don't think I did it correctly when I was putting in my picks yesterday. Because some of these I did on the show yesterday. Texas Tech is at Kansas State. Texas Tech is a 7-point favorite at Kansas State. Kansas State's been very inconsistent all year long. You know, when they got back from Dublin, it's been just inconsistencies. They've had highs, they've had lows. I think Texas Tech getting beat was really good for them. I know it sounds weird. I think it's really good for them. They know that, hey, I think they have playoff aspirations. I think they know they got to win and they got to win big. I'm taking Texas Tech -7 on the road at Kansas State. I just think they're a better team. And like I said, I think the sense of urgency is going to be a thing there. And that's why I'm taking them. The second game, talked about this on the show yesterday. The Ole Miss Rebels are 12.5-point favorites at home versus South Carolina tomorrow night. Interesting game. I really, for multiple reasons, but look, I think Ole Miss wins this game 14 to 20-ish points. I mean, I think it's a two-score game easily. Um, you know, defensively, the edge. I did not give enough attention to this last week versus Alabama, and I should have, and that's my fault. This week, I think it's a totally different situation. I think Lane is going to kind of scheme around it and not allow the speed rush and give them different looks and things like that. They're not going to be in man protection all night long. It's a different system. He'll throw different things at them. I do think it's important for Ole Miss to get the run established so they don't get behind the chains. You don't want to be in a lot of third and longs against South Carolina. No one does. But I think they're susceptible there. And I think offensively, I just don't see. I know Lenore Sellers, and they got Lenore Sellers, and they got Nick Harbor, and they got those guys. I'm out on South Carolina kind of in general. I think Ole Miss wins this game, and I think home crowd, night game, weather's going to be great. I think they'll be into it. I think they extend the lead late on this. I mean, if you told me it was a 7-point game late and Ole Miss extended, I wouldn't be surprised. But I do. I just think Ole Miss extends this game out to 2 scores and covers the 12.5. My next game, staying in state. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are traveling to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. I mean, this was a really simple pick for me. Um, I mean, Mississippi State's been really close to the point of going to overtime. They've had leads, they've lost late. Arkansas may win this game. They made them beat them by 3, but you're giving me Mississippi State and 4.5 points. I'm taking it, and they've done it on the road at Tennessee. I mean, excuse me, they've done it on the road. They had a chance to beat Florida. They had the Tennessee game at home. They had the Texas game at home. I think they keep this game close inside 4.5. I feel like it's almost a super trap. Taylor Green's a little dinged up too. He threw the ball to the other team a couple times. Got caught up in trap coverage a couple times. Got deked by the corner several times. I think twice, maybe 3 times. He got deked by the corner on corner throws in cover 2 to the boundary. I just think Mississippi State's playing really hard on defense. I think they're explosive enough on offense to score points against this defense. I also see this being a high scoring game. I think the over was like 65.5. I'm not touching it, but I'm taking Mississippi State plus the 4.5. All right, next game, Tennessee Vols hosting Oklahoma. Um, yeah, I get the concern. So everybody, I'm taking Tennessee -3 over Oklahoma. I get the concern. I think Oklahoma. This is an elimination game. They're both 6-2 elimination game for the playoffs. I'm talking about, and so you got it at home. It's at night in Neyland, 6:30 primetime TV, blackout game for the Vols. Tennessee's the weak link that everybody knows is Tennessee's corners are beat up. They've been beat up all year. And everybody goes, "Oh, Mateer's gonna go in there and throw all over Tennessee." They haven't done it versus anyone since they joined the SEC. They haven't scored 30 points in an SEC game since they joined the SEC, and they've played a lot worse defenses than this one. I think the the ability of Tennessee's front to create negative plays and sacks is going to be the difference in this game. I think Tennessee wins this game. I think they win it kind of okay easily. I don't think this is. I mean, I think it's a 7 to 10 point win. It may be an uncomfortable cover there for a little while, but I don't think this is terribly. I don't think this is a terribly like concern spot here. I like Tennessee kind of confidently in this one. Also, as you guys know, because you saw yesterday on the show, the Joker came out. The Joker came and showed up. I'm agreeing with the Joker. I'm taking Arizona -4 at Colorado. It could be -14 at Colorado. I don't care. I think Colorado's got big issues. They got big issues inside the building. It's just bizarre, man. That everything that's going on there right now is beyond bizarre. Give me the Arizona Wildcats, who've got a really good defense, by the way. Arizona at Colorado to cover easily. All right, game's not on the show that I did place a wager on. All right, I came really close to doing this one on the show yesterday. Cincinnati. I'm taking Cincinnati plus 10.5 on the road at Utah. Not this isn't a. I think Utah is a very good team. No one is talking about Cincinnati. I may get a little crazy on this, and I may end up sprinkling. This is low key, may be the best game of the week in college football. I may sprinkle a little money line on the Bearcats. I really like them in this spot. I really like them in the spot. So I'm taking Cincinnati plus 10.5. Depending on how my day is going, I may sprinkle a little bit on the Bearcats to win outright in Utah. All right. Play here. There's two plays here, right? I'm taking Vandy. I've already placed a bet. I got them at plus 2.5 at Texas. Money line's at 115. Neil took them. It was going to be my money line pick for the week, but Neil took them. Took the point spread in our picks. Um, I uh I like Vanderbilt to cover here. I think it's gonna be a really low scoring game. And I don't know, man. I think Texas has just flirted with disaster for 2 weeks. I think eventually it's going to bite them. And you could even go back to the Oklahoma game where it was a really tight game against Oklahoma, and they got not bailed out, but they got spurned by a kickoff, punt return. Happened again last week. Uh, they're down 17, I think, twice in the game. It's at 2 points, and they get the punt return that gets them going. I think they've played with fire. I'm in. I'm buying the Kool-Aid. Give me the doors at Texas. And I will say this. I want to make sure it's on record. If Vanderbilt goes to Austin, Texas tomorrow and finds a way to win a football game, It's going to get weird. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if things don't get really weird in Austin quick. Because they got to they got to go to Georgia, and they got to finish the season against Texas A&M. Things could get uncomfortable really quick in Austin, Texas, because that's emotion, and that's emotional people with money. Just saying. All right, crazier things have happened. All right, my other money line pick. I am placing the money line pick is Cal. Let me see if I mean, let me double check that before I do that. Let me pull up my bets real quick. No, I took the points. On my regular bets, I got them at plus money or minus 102. I'm taking Cal plus 4.5. I bet the money line on the show because that's what we do. We pick one money line. But I like Cal at home plus 4.5 against Virginia. I'm not sold on Virginia. I'm just not. Just kind of is what it is there. I'm not sold on them. I think that they can. I think if they win this game, I think Cal can win this game outright. Um, I think Cal can win this game outright. And yeah, I just I know I'm not sold on Virginia. I'm not buying they're going to be a playoff contender team. I'm not. All right, last bet. Last bet I'm going to do. I added this one this morning. I almost missed it because I didn't have it written down here. Last bet in college. I'm taking the Florida Gators. This is probably a gamble bet. Like truly, you got to be a true degenerate to do this. But I like it and I'm placing it. I'm taking the Florida Gators plus 4 in the first half. Why am I doing that? Because in the last calendar year, the Georgia Bulldogs have only led at halftime one time at halftime, and that was against Kentucky. They have not had a lead at halftime against a Power Four opponent at halftime since Kentucky, one time, Kentucky this year. And so I'm just betting the trend. It's been good to me. So I'm not going. It's been good to me. Hit it the Ole Miss game. I think Ole Miss was plus 3 or plus 3.5 at Georgia. They had the lead by one. I also add to this. I think Florida's had 2 weeks. I think they'll come out and have some kind of offensive game plan where they score a touchdown or two. And look, I think they're good. Um, so that's what we'll do. All right. So that's what we'll do. We'll take Florida plus 4 in the first half of the game. All right. NFL, the National Football League, lost last night. That was probably I can't. I'm just gonna give y'all a heads up right now. I freaking sucked in the NFL last week, and I started off with a great pick last night by taking the Dolphins plus 7.5 versus the Ravens. I think the GM got fired this morning. I would imagine if McDaniel's not far behind it. That's just I deserve that. I deserve that. So here we go. I got Denver minus 1.5 at Houston. I'm just not in on Houston right now. I think Denver's got the good thing going here. I think they're starting to find a little bit enough offensively. It's not great, but they're finding enough. But I just think they're defensively. I think they're going to be able to slow Houston down enough to where offensively they can score. I got them at minus 1.5, which is pretty much a pick 'em down there in the NFL against Houston. I got the Jags minus 2.5 at the Raiders. The Raiders are just a train wreck as they're like the Dolphins. I like the Jaguars coming off a bye week as well. Give me the Jags minus 2.5 in LA and starts at LA in Las Vegas. I'm taking the Bears minus 2.5 at Cincy. Um, this is a complete Joe Flacco play. I think Joe Flacco's hurt. I think he may not even start. There may be news out today. I haven't looked. I've already placed a bet. I think he's hurt anyway, shoulder and all that stuff. Uh, where it's going to genuinely, his arm's going to get weaker with the injury as time goes on. I don't expect him to have surgery. He'll probably have to have it in all season, but just being around coaching quarterbacks at that position with that injury, it's going to gradually get weaker as the year goes on. So I'm going to take the Bears against Cincinnati minus 2.5 at Cincy. And then last one, I hate big lines. I usually go the other way. Ironically, I'm going to take the Lions in this one. Give me the Lions minus 8.5 versus the Vikings. The Vikings, the Lions are at home. They usually play well at home. They usually cover the big lines at home. And JJ McCarthy's going to start for the Vikings. I don't think he's a guy. I don't believe in him. And I think the Lions are starting to cook. Hutchinson got fresh off his 4 year, $180 million contract, so he should be ready to go. All right. That's the picks. Does anybody have any questions about games or any breakdowns of games or just games in general y'all want to talk about before we move on to the regular live? Go Heels. Yeah, I'm not touching that one tonight. 2.5. All right, going to TikTok. Hilson says James Franklin of Virginia Tech. I've seen the rumors. I don't have any validity to that. I don't know. I haven't looked. I haven't checked. Look, James Franklin's a hell of a football coach. We talked about this earlier on the live stuff. The emotions are at an all-time high. I mean, it's ridiculous how high they are. Everybody's making emotional decisions with business money. Um, Kind of is what it is. Who should LSU hire? Good luck to him, Jesse Landry. Um, I don't know, man. Look, I've said this. I'll say this yesterday. No coach is going to like have an open conversation with LSU or any school for that matter if they have a job until probably another 2.5 weeks. Okay, what's going on at LSU right now is red flags. Just letting you know, from a coaching standpoint, is red flags. I mean, you got to be really. I don't know, man. That's some wild shit. Just gonna be honest with you. That's some wild shit. Who should they hire? The best guy they could get. But if they think they're going in here with one of these new age contracts and this guy's in control, they don't have an AD, they don't have a president right now. I mean, they got there's a lot going on. There's a lot there. So who should they hire? Jake, best recruiter in college football. Uh, your rev share percentage. How much money you have. That's the best. The Benjamins. Benjamin Franklin. Do you think they recover quickly? Jake, yeah, look, I've said this. I'll say this yesterday. I mean, I said it a little bit yesterday, and I'll reiterate today. Reiterate it today. As a coach, you can make an argument with me about some other ones, like, but LSU's one of, if not the best job for me. If I was making a decision, it's one of the best jobs out there from a coaching perspective. Okay, you're the only school in the state. The kids actually still go there because it's like, yeah, they still go there to get paid. Do not get me wrong, but they love LSU. It's such a culture thing there. Coaching down there and living down there for a short period of time, I got that message loud and clear. And you can just drive down I-10 and hit 55 freaking 5 stars with a 7 iron. I mean, it's fertile grounds for any way of any even in today's recruiting, right? Um, but with that being said, like if you are in a really comfortable bed, and what I mean by that is I got a good job. Like I'm not in a hurry to go jump into a shit show because I everybody else thinks I should. One of the biggest issues we got going on all these fan bases right now barking at each other on Twitter is everybody's attached to a school. Florida fan can't understand why any coach wouldn't pick their school. LSU fan can't understand why any coach wouldn't pick their school. Why would you not pick here? Ole Miss fan with Lane, why would he ever want to leave here? This is because you're projecting your feelings, or that fan is projecting their feelings toward the school as the coach's feelings for their school. And that, trust me, that's not how it works. Okay? It's not how it works. And so, at the end of the day, from a coaching standpoint, I want somewhere where I can win. I can win, I can get paid, and I can do it my way. I'll tell you, I don't mind telling you. I've had 3 jobs where I felt I had people in my way that was preventing me from being successful or our staff from being successful. It's frustrating. It's not that you can't do it. Hell, we've won it 2 of them. It's not that you can't do it, but it limits you. And there's something to be said when you got everybody pulling in the same direction. But man, I mean, LSU, if they've done nothing else this week, if LSU has done nothing else this week, what they have shown is they will turn on you and cut your nuts faster than you can spell nuts. Austin, what it is? Are you saying 2 weeks because that's Ole Miss bye week? No. I'm saying 2 weeks because it's 2 weeks before the end of the season. And you usually talk to who you're going to talk to that week, make a decision going into the last game, and then you usually do your initial talks the week before the 2 weeks before the season. You kind of make your decision over the weekend, and then at the end of the last game, well, we see you. So it kind of just works out that way. It doesn't matter if you had a game or not. BK had 4 years. He did have 4 years. And Brian Kelly went 34-14 in 3 years and 8 games. He went 34-14 in 3 years and 8 games. By the way, Nick Saban went 33-13 in 3 years and 8 games. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All dogs, what it is, my guy. Tupelo Red, what it is. Siskey, what about Chiefs Bills this Sunday? I still haven't decided what I'm going to touch. Like, I'm scared to bet again. I want to go with what Neil said yesterday with the Bills, but I'm scared to bet against the Chiefs right now. Siskey, do you have the Blue Jays winning it all night? I hope so, Kodo. I hope so. So BK to Florida. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to coach again. I think this whole buyout thing is going to get really messy. I hope it doesn't for all people involved. But this buyout stuff and this BK and Woodward situation could get really nasty for LSU. I hope it doesn't. I don't like bad. I don't like things happening to people. I don't wish. I don't unlike of all of social media or most of it. I don't wish ill will towards people. Um, what's your thoughts on Grubb and Sheridan visiting Gruden? I don't give a shit. I mean, just it. I have no thoughts because I do not care. I mean, just to be honest with you, Austin. I'm not saying all coaches are saints, but Tyler, I just don't understand the defense of BK this week. He's objectively a terrible guy. He doesn't check on players that graduate. Plus the Notre Dame thing. Austin, see, let me tell you what I don't understand. Austin, I don't understand people saying what you're saying when you don't know him either. You've heard things, but like, hear me tell you something you don't know, Austin, and this is why I don't think you should do that. You should never judge people. You should know this. You should never judge people. Let me tell you something you don't know. One of these things about he doesn't, one of the situations that, one of the, in particular, because I know people inside the building, one of the particular situations that people are getting him on is the stepdad who wasn't in, or the real dad, or one of the parents that's not even involved in the kid's life. And he's talking about he didn't do this, didn't do that. Meanwhile, Brian Kelly went out and personally paid for his funeral because Brian Kelly dealt with a mom and somebody else. Didn't deal with a crazy dad. It was a blended family. So the more you know there, Austin. Two is this. I'm glad you brought that up. Two is this. I don't believe in all of these people. And if you're listening right now, you may be one of these. And if you're one of these, you should listen to this. I don't believe in when somebody's fired and he's not there anymore. All of these people coming out of the woodworks. He's not a good person. He did this and he did that and he did this and he did that and he did this and he did this and he did that. Where the hell were you the last 3.5 years? Where were you in the last 3.5 years? Why do we have to wait until somebody does something wrong and he's out of here before you say something? That kind of tells me more about you than it does actually Brian Kelly. So that kind of tells me more about the person that does that than it does Brian Kelly. And I'll hit you home with this one too, since you brought it up, Austin. I'm gonna hit you home with this one too. It's kind of like a guy named Hugh Freeze. It's kind of like a guy named Hugh Freeze. You're telling me for all that time that stuff was going on that nobody knew about it? You're telling me that all that time that was going on, nobody knew about it in Oxford, Mississippi? Well, let me tell you something. They did. Let me tell you something you didn't know. Somebody decided to send an anonymous email out to all the media people the night after they lost, the same night they lost the Egg Bowl, sent an anonymous email out to all the media people. So if it was so bad, why didn't you talk about it when he was winning? There's a lot of coaches. Be careful. Those in glass houses don't throw stones. Those in glass houses don't throw stones. A lot of coaches out there winning football games. Shit's getting on the rug like this. Just saying. I'd be really, really cautious before you start judging people. Really cautious. How do coaches feel about the NC State job? I don't know. It's more about like today's world in like when you're thinking about jobs. Like I said this the other day, it wears me out. It does. It exhausts me. It exhausts me when I turn on because I get up really early and work on my company, right? So I got a lot of shit to do now. So I got a lot of responsibilities. So I had to get up really early and work on my company. Well, while I'm up working, I have screens up here. I will work on my computer, but I have shows playing in the background or whatever just to keep me occupied and lets me do my thing, lets me flow. And so I'm so preoccupied. It bothers me is all these gurus and media keep talking about how big of NIL is the deal. Oh, we got to go raise this money. How much NIL? It's a good job because they can raise NIL. Guys, that's irrelevant. Like people have to understand how this shit works. Walker Jones was on MPW Digital. I encourage all the people on TikTok, go to MPW Digital, listen to Neil and Chase. This would have been Wednesday. Walker Jones was on. He's awesome. But nobody, I don't know if anybody's listening to what he's saying. I've been saying the same thing. I get laughed at, but like I've been saying the same thing. This house settlement, whether you like it or you don't, it's what the rules are. So you have to kind of prepare, and it's to my credit with Walker, and this is why I say he's the best. He's preparing for, hey, like, look, if this thing sticks, we're going to have to do this. If it doesn't, we got to do this. He's prepared for it if it doesn't stick. But right, wrong, or indifferent, today, this is what the rules are. It took 5 years. When the house settlement was brought to court, it took 5 years to get a damn settlement. They didn't go to trial. So they're not going to change and make a big pivot like right now. It's going to be the rules. When you're getting a job in December, these are the questions you have to ask because it's the fundamentally what's going to affect where you're at. I want to know what my rev share is. Okay. I want to know how much you front loaded. Okay, so I got 13, and this is a median. Okay, I know some teams are a little bit less. I know some leagues and some teams are a lot more. I think the most that I know of is like 16.8 million. Like, but there are teams that are giving 90% to football, but most teams are going like the 75% football, and that's coming off the number 18, not 20. I'm not getting into the whole deal. Um, but the whole point of the drill is this: is like I want to know how much of this roster did you front load, how much is tied into the players that are currently on a roster, like contracts and stuff when that runs out. But I want to know how much money I got to go acquire talent in January with. When this portal opens up, how much money did you front load? So I know how much money I have to operate with in this portal. That's question one and two, really. I want to know what my rev share percentage is and can that be moved? That's based on the school. Every school does it differently. I was glad that Walker snuck something there too. I've been talking about it. The Big East, if they wanted to, they could get crazy in basketball. But anyway, um, and then I want to know how you are going to be creative with NIL to help me fudge the cap. Okay. NIL is actually endorsements. The pay for play, which was the old NIL, is now moved to the athletic department. So you're going to have to get this stuff passed by you have to be creative in how you're doing it. I'm not going to give out state secrets because I have a company about this. There are ways that you can fudge the cap with NIL. There are creative ways you can do that. But what you have to understand is it's not the old days. The days of having, hey, we're going to have $13.5 million in rev share, and we're going to have $20 million in NIL that our collective is going to pay. That shit's over. Now you're going to be able to get a couple through, but you're talking a couple million. You're not talking 20 million. Austin, thanks for the super chat. Says appreciate the be safe story about paying for the kid's funeral. That's a great story. I was going out of much of what I hear, and that's not okay. No, it's not. I'm not mad at you, Austin. I'm just saying, like, all of these people, like you don't like people are judging the guy based on what random people said. Like, I'll put it like this. they better settle this deal, this LSU deal. If it really gets to court, it can get really nasty for a lot of people. I'll leave it at that. But there's even some misinterpretation on that. There's a lot of shit there. There's a lot of like, it's one of those things that like I choose not to comment on because I know a lot and I don't know enough. Like you better freaking know before you go uh getting on that. But my whole point on the other day was my argument. It wasn't my argument with Neil. Disagreement with Neil was I think Brian Kelly is going to coach again. I think people will hire him if he chooses to do so. The guy's averaged 9.65 wins a season for a 33-year career. I mean, he's had like 15 10-win seasons. I mean, what are we doing? All right, Jess, another good point, Jess. Jess says Brian Kelly is a good coach, just not a culture fit at LSU. That's all. See, I don't like the word culture fit. I don't like the word fit when it comes to culture because immediately, if I tell you right now call me a liar, call me a liar. If I tell you he's not a culture, Brian Kelly is not a culture fit at LSU, the first thing that's going to pop in your head is him on that basketball court saying family, family. That's the first thing that's going to pop into your head. Fit is only a problem when you lose games. Nick Saban is from West Virginia and came to LSU from Michigan State. I can promise you because I know the guy. He was not a culture fit for LSU. Nope. Mm-mm. Do you think Nick Saban went out and ate boudin and dirty rice and meat pies and crawfish? You think they brought him crawfish flavored Debbie cookies for breakfast? Do we think that's what happened? No. It's only a problem if they lose. So the fit part, it's like Kalen DeBoer. All I heard after Alabama lost to Florida State was DeBoer can't win here. He doesn't fit here. He's from out there, up there. He's not from the South. He can't do it here. I haven't heard the first word about Kalen DeBoer fitting at Alabama in the last 7 weeks. I hadn't heard shit. Not one tweet. I hadn't one person say anything about Kalen DeBoer in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Now, he goes out and loses next week to LSU. It'll be right back. Yeah, now you're hearing about the black hoodie. Now everybody's going to buy black hoodies. So fit is about if you win or lose. That's what it's about. I don't want to hear that. Thoughts on Bryce Underwood after 8 games? He's a talented freshman. He doesn't have great receivers. Yeah, Kodo. Good point. Kodo brings it up. He says no one was talking about fit when y'all won the West and was playing an SEC title game. Only after he lost it to Georgia. So 100% right, Kodo. I agree with you. Doors rules. I think both things can be true. BK has a great career. That said, perception is everything. And SEC can't sell hiring a guy who is just fired because he couldn't get it done at LSU. But that's what I'm trying to say. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, Doors. Did he win a championship? I'm going to bring this up again. I know we got LSU. We got a bunch of people on TikTok. I know there's LSU fans in here. All right. Brian Kelly did not win a championship. He went to an SEC title game. He did not win a championship. I understand that. And you have every right, if you want to, it's in the contract, you can fire him. That's your right. But who in the hell are you hiring? There are 3 coaches. 3 in the entire coaching world that have won national championships that are actually coaching. Are you going to go hire Dabo? Are you going to go hire Kirby Smart? Or are you going to go hire Ryan Day? So anybody that you hire is a gamble, is a complete gamble. If I had the choice, I'm sitting there and I had the choice in my hand, I can say I'll take Lane Kiffin or I'll take Brian Kelly. 100 out of 100 times, I would take Lane Kiffin. I would. But if I'm sitting there and I have to write a $53 million check for Lane Kiffin to come through the door, no, it ain't that. It ain't. I'm not gambling that because as much as I like Lane Kiffin as a head coach, what has Lane Kiffin won too? Let's talk about that. What is because and this is the point of everybody asking me why would I, because I've said I wouldn't leave if I was Lane. Why would you, why, if you were advising Lane, which I'm not, and he wouldn't give a shit, why would Lane leave Ole Miss? I said, let me tell you why I wouldn't leave. I'm going to explain this really simple. This is why I wouldn't leave Ole Miss. Because last year, Lane Kiffin probably arguably had a top 2 or 3 team in the country that didn't make the playoff. He lost to Kentucky, he lost to LSU on the last play, and he lost to Florida. Coming into this year, everybody was like, they won 10 games because they won. It was like they were like, man, we blew it, but that's okay, Lane. Let's go, Lane. If that same thing happens in Baton Rouge, they'll fire his ass. If that same thing happened in Baton Rouge, they'd fire his ass. That's why I wouldn't go. That's why I wouldn't go. It's really simple. This isn't complicated. So why in the hell would I go put myself and my family in that shit show? Let somebody else do that. Dalton, I did see that. I'm fired up for Dalton. I mean, I'm fired Dalton. I'm fired up for Pruitt. This is gonna be another unpopular take. I'm just gonna piss everybody off today. It's okay. I'll piss your fan base off sooner or later at some point in time. Um, I think Jeremy Pruitt is arguably the best defensive mind in college football. Arguably. He's now been hired. I saw the report. I haven't verified it actually, but I saw the report. He was hired as an analyst at Jacksonville State. I could not be more happy. And people are like, "Oh yeah, but Tennessee and this and that." Guys, he paid the price, man. I mean, whether you like him or you don't, and you disagree with what he did or he made your team, guys, he lost a lot of money, man. I mean, he made it to the mountaintop in the SEC as a head coach, got the big contract, and got no dollars on buyout. I mean, he paid the price. Let the guy go coach football. Let the guy go coach. He's like, it's the weird thing about sports, right? We got this weird thing in sports where, man, if somebody cheats or breaks the rules or anything like that, man, they might as well have been like committed like a real legitimate crime. You know what I mean? Like we treat criminals better than we treat some fired coaches sometimes in the public perception. I mean, he's paid his debt. I mean, his debt was he lost tens of millions of dollars. Let him go play, man. Let him go play. Let him go play. Let him go coach. Matt over here on TikTok. What do you think of Auburn does? Auburn is a top 3 job, but they're broken in their own way. Matt, in no shape, form, or fashion is Auburn a top 3 job. And I played at Auburn. I love you. In no shape, form, or fashion is Auburn a top 3 job. I 100% fundamentally disagree with that statement. If Auburn came open today, it wouldn't be any better than 4th. That's open today. Top 15, maybe. Okay, we'll have to start having a conversation, but not top 3. It's not even the best job in the state. I mean, how can you say it's a top 3 job? Maybe a top 3 job in Alabama. It is that. It is a top 3 job in the state of Alabama. I will give you that. 100. I'm right behind you there. uh, Tupelo or Tyler Rev. Did you used to be Tupelo Rev? Tyler Rev, did you change your name? I know we're a little delay on YouTube. It takes about 15, 20 seconds. He asks, is Ole Miss a top 12 job? Yes. In today's football, yes. Today in 2025, yes. Not when I was there, but today, yes. I mean, I would probably go a little bit. Okay, yeah, I would actually probably think it'd be a little bit higher than that. Um, I'd probably go inside of top. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's easy. Top 12 is easy. I think it's probably a little bit better than that. How high would I have Georgia? Very high. I mean, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss. Um, I could go on Ohio State. I have to really start circling the wagons here in my brain. There are some jobs that could A&M. There are some jobs at Tennessee. Yeah, I put Tennessee in there. Oregon. Yeah, there's some good ones. There's some out there that are kind of like that could be good ones that aren't kind of pulling in the same direction, but could be fixed with administration fixes. No, I would not put Oklahoma there. Notre Dame, I would. Yeah, they're good. Miami's pulling in the same direction. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. I mean, there's some good ones, but yeah, Ole Miss is in the same class as a lot of those. We splitting hairs on some of those. Um, Siskey wise, Tennessee only favored by 2.5. I don't know. User, do I think Georgia Tech's got a shot? Do I think they got a shot to get in the playoffs? Yeah. Do I think they got a shot to make a run? No. I think eventually you're going to have to throw the football. I don't think you're going to be a line up and run Haynes King quarterback power for 18 weeks. Is it bad? I'm excited for Carolina tonight. Yes, Kate. It is very bad that you're excited to watch on Halloween night. Your excitement is down to Carolina and Syracuse. Yes, it is bad. Could Texas Tech work its way there? All right, Green Man, like that's kind of here's my thing with Texas Tech is they were very aggressive late in the NIL window, aggressively front loaded everything. And so with all these teams that front loaded without going into a burning matches and a whole spiel here is you're not going to see a lot of these front load effects until the 2027 football season. Um, so it's probably a little early for me to tell. Now they were 100% committed in the NIL era now, late in the window, not early in the window. They had their chance, but they finally got to the hell with it after a year of it or something. But we'll see how they because the trick's going to be how much you're committed to and as we move forward and get into 2027 if we're still in this system, which God I hope we're not. I hope we actually get a collective bargaining agreement and get these guys figure that out. That's going to be hard to do, but it is what it is. That's another different topic. But I want to teams that are trying to win it in multiple sports are going to be it's going to be tough. The players are the ones not performing to win with money in the mix. Now, why can't we fire them? I mean, it's a great. Well, I mean, there's multiple reasons, but that's a good point, Jerry. Like for me, we got this. Was I was about to talk about this a minute ago. That's what I'm glad you brought that back up. It refreshed me. It's funny to me how, like, if you look at, we're going to take the NFL versus college. Okay, in the NFL, 90% of the complaints and like this guy sucks and that is towards the players. So in the NFL, 90% is on the players and like 10% to the coaches. In college, it's 90% coach. Hell, it may be 95% coach, 5% players. But they're getting paid now. So you got 18 to 22-year-olds in college that are getting paid. Hell, some of them are getting paid more in college than they can make in the NFL. And then you could have you'll have a 20 freaking 9-year-old goddamn Diego Pavia screw something up in a game, and he is that you're gonna blame Clark Lee. But you will have a 20-year-old freaking Sam Darnold playing for the Jets, and Sam Darnold sucks. It's a bizarre thing. I don't know when that changes. Lane leaving or staying? Answer me, damn it. I'll put. You know what I'm gonna do to you? I'm gonna say, I got something for you. One is you can't get creative enough to make a own username. You know what I mean? Like you have to be like user 90 something 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 something. And number two is wishy. College football, Green Man college football needs a CBA for sure. Yeah, it's complicated. I don't think they will ever be able to do it inside of the NCAA model. I think it'll have to be. I think it'll have to be broken off first. And then here's the other thing: is like it'll change when they make the players employees. See, I don't think that's the whole point. I don't think they can make them employees inside the NCAA model because you're going to kill other sports. You know what I mean? Best all around NFL player right now. I mean, if you're making me pick one, he's not playing great right now, but I'd have fun with Josh Allen. That's who I'd like to be my quarterback. And then here's the other things we talk about a CBA. To me, the biggest hurdle, like I haven't talked to Neil about this in a long time. The biggest hurdle for me is not getting them together to do it. The biggest hurdle for me is why in the hell would the players in the current system? That's why to me it has to break off. If you're in the current system, why in the hell would the players collective bargain? They get everything they want. Why would you give it up when you've already got the power? Like, so that's why it has to be broken off. That's one. Two is if it doesn't break off, you can't have the starting quarterback sitting at the table with the freaking left center of the women's soccer team because they're not wanting the same things. There's a lot there. But I think you got to find a way to collective bargaining to solve any of this. Because if we don't, we're just pissing in the wind. Could Mike McDaniel move to college next year? Why? Why? Why do we think because somebody coached at the Miami Dolphins that they're just going to show up at freaking UAB and start winning games? Do y'all like if you really watch football, you want to see some good coaching, go watch your D2 teams play. You want to see some good scheme, go watch FCS and D2 football. Best scheme in football. Did Lane jump to the NFL? Has already been there. It's much easier to go the other way. It's much easier to go from college to the NFL to the NFL to college. It's just different. Nebraska's a DC like Pruitt away from doing great things. I'm a big Pruitt guy. I mean, I'll defend his coaching ability against anybody. Corey P, does Indiana have a chance to be Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game? I'm not betting against him, Corey. I don't bet against Signetti. Guy's proving me wrong 1,000 times, or not proving me wrong. He's proving me right. I'm a big Signetti guy. Hunter, the whole Saban as LSU candidate is not serious. I mean, you ain't got to tell me, Hunter. Are you telling me, Hunter, or are you going to tell everybody else? You ain't got to tell me. I mean, you don't have to tell me. You tell the chat to me. I'm just saying. No, I'll tell you this. Let me tell you. Here's what the problem is. When you said Brian Kelly, You got your little pen out, and you're like, Brian Kelly, here's $53 million. Will you sign right here, sir? Like when you took the pen out and you had Brian Kelly in the office, and you say, Brian, we're gonna let you go, bro. Here's 53 million. We appreciate you, but we see you. Like as he walked out the AD's door, you to do that, in order to have the nuts to do that, Nick Saban should have passed Brian Kelly. You should have been that far down the road that like Nick Saban walked past Brian Kelly as they were one was walking in the door, one was like you got to know who's coming in the door when you do that because you're like we got to win championships here. We got to win championships here at LSU. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to fire this guy for 53 million and we're going to go hire somebody who's never won one. What if I told you that? Like, why are we hey, like just let's take your fandom. If you're an LSU fan, I want you to participate here. Let's remove your fandom. Let's just be a normal person here for a minute. Okay? All right? You're no longer an LSU fan, but you work at LSU. You're an employee. And they go, "All right, why are we firing this guy? He's won a lot of games. Why are we firing this guy?" Well, hadn't won a championship. Okay, fair. So we're all in agreement here that we're firing this guy. We're all in agreement here that we're going to fire this guy because he hasn't won a championship. Is that we're all in on that? Yes, we're all in on that. Okay. All right, good. All right, who's next? Because we got to pay this guy $53 million. And if we're firing him because he can't win a championship, who can we 100% guarantee is going to come here and win us a championship? Because that's the only reason you write a $53 million check. I didn't say $53, $53 million check. Like, and if the answer is, and this was my whole point, if the answer is, man, I don't think there's anybody out there that we can guarantee do that, you don't write the check. It's, like, why am I the only one with any common sense around here? And I get attacked for it. I've been attacked for it this week on social media. Hell, on my own damn show. He didn't attack with me. But, I mean, golly. Like, why am I the asshole here? If the reason we're firing the guy is because he's not winning championships, and I'm about to have to write $53 million out. I got to know. I got to know that the guy coming in the door is guaranteed going to do it. Jared says it's the boosters' money. What they say goes. See, that's not technically true because you got to go ask them for the money after you fire them. If they told you to fire them, you tell them to go kick rocks. I've been in those conversations. Oh, we ain't doing that shit. They got plenty of boosters. They don't need one. If you got one booster, probably a problem, but they got plenty. But 53 million steep. Is BK getting the full 53 million? It's complicated. It's complicated. I'm not going to go into it. It's complicated. Um, it could get ugly. I'll just leave it like that. It could be ugly. I imagine what will happen is it will end up going to court. There will be law. There will be a court filing filed, and it's going to go. Hey, we're only going to pay you this because of this, and the other side's going to go. Fine, let's go to court. I know this. Can I give y'all a little inside scoop here? It's not even inside scoop. Let me peel the curtain back. Can I just peel the curtain back for you guys, just so y'all can understand kind of how this is going to work? They're going to go to court, and LSU is going to say, "We're only giving you this amount of money because of this." Brian Kelly's going to go, "Hmm." Never take a head football coach. Uh, Never take a head football coach or pretty much anybody involved with the behind the scenes work at an SEC football department. Don't ever try to go take him to court because that person knows a lot of things that will be really bad for your university. And that instead of stroking that check, it's going to be a lot more expensive, a lot more damaging than that check you could have just wrote and been done with it. Just saying. Don't ever do that. Not a good idea to take your former head coach to court and try to hold money from them. Just saying. Austin, what's your favorite Ole Miss uniform? Uh, my favorite Ole Miss uniform is extremely unpopular. I know it is, and I'm going to say it like I'm open. But I'm going. You ask me the question, I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if they wear it anymore. My favorite Ole Miss uniform was always the gray pants, the navy blue jersey, and the baby blue helmet, which is what um, we used to wear for the Chucky Mullins game because that's what when he got injured. That's what they were wearing. Gray pants, navy top, baby blue helmet. I don't know why. I have no answer for you, but I don't know. That was my favorite. Um, Arkansas or Mississippi State. I got Mississippi State to cover. I don't know if they win the game or not, but I got them to cover for sure. What's my take on Mike Bobo? I like Mike Bobo. Should I have a different take on him? We haven't had any fire Mike Bobo because he didn't. I mean, like, are we mad at? Are we mad at Mike Bobo? Like, he literally just coached a game. His last game, they didn't punt. Are we mad at Mike Bobo? Can we not like wait till after the Florida game until they at least have to punt before we get on the Mike Bobo stuff? Can we at least wait until they punt again before y'all want him fired? Too many screen passes. They didn't punt. They didn't punt. Who gives a shit if he's spitting a football out of his asshole? They didn't punt. And you want the guy fired? Boy, we got a tough crowd up in here today. Y'all want to fire somebody all day. Hunter, that's one of the best for sure, but I do have to say the real tree combo is the best. I think we're wearing tomorrow. Oh yeah, I didn't count the real tree stuff, Hunter. I was just thinking about traditional stuff. I didn't think about the real tree stuff. I like the helmet. The one that they're wearing, I think tomorrow. I think that thing's gonna look good. I like that. Yeah, I like the real tree stuff for sure. I like Tyler and those guys. I'm biased too. I like Tyler a lot. He's good people. Um, UC Mortal this week, disrespected by Vegas. Boy, I'm taking them. So I hope we don't jinx it. I'm taking them. Richard, who would win in a foot race between me and Neil? Richard, I played wide receiver in the Southeastern Football Conference. Neil could outrun me in distance because I would fall out. But in a race, I mean, come on, dog. That's just disrespectful, Richard. That's just plain disrespectful. I can't I can't do that. I can't listen to that. That's just utterly disrespectful, Richard. Unbelievable. I'm just messing with you, Richard. Welcome to the live, Richard. Why do I have to prove everything? I'm old as shit. I literally put a video because y'all were doubting me that I couldn't bench 400 pounds. I friggin' showed a video of that shit. I mean, what I don't need to prove it. Have y'all seen my kids' runs? It's genetic. I mean, I can run. I can't do a lot of things. I can run. Now, I may not have an Achilles at the end of it, but I wouldn't lose. I would refuse to lose. I would just refuse to lose. Um, Stacy, BS, where's the tape? Oh, it's on tape. You can go to YouTube and find it because they did it on the last post game show. It's on YouTube. You can go see it. The last post game show. I sent it to Chase because they said I was full of shit. Um, Ginger, I'm not that old. I'm old as dirt, Ginger. There's literally dirt that's younger than I am. What was my 40 time? I think the last time I got like a real time when we did laser times when they first started, I was like a 4.53 laser. Um, which hand time, you're always gonna get your 4.4s and all that stuff, but true laser, I was like a 4.53 guy. Um, what do you think the best uniforms are in college football? And again, it may be because that's maybe why I like the Ole Miss combo that I like. My favorite uniforms in college football are North Carolina's. I like the dark blue, like I like the navy blue and baby blue combo. I don't know why. I just like the color deal of that. Like when North Carolina's on the road and they're wearing the baby blue helmet, the white jersey, and the navy pants, that's probably my favorite uniform in college football. Um, what what would have been your NCAA game rating? Oh, I don't know. I'm in one of them. Not very good. I was a terrible player. I was awful. I was an awful player. I was a terrible athlete, awful player. I'm a has-been coach. I was awful. I mean, look, I was so bad that they were like, man, they just felt sorry for me. Like I was like a little kid. They just felt so bad. I mean, like, man, come on, we'll let you wear a uniform. Just go there and sit over there and shut up. I was terrible. Um, if you had to bet one team today, who am I picking for Natty? Ooh, so I'm gonna be wrong. Um, I mean Ohio State or Texas A&M probably, but I'm probably wrong. I think it's just gonna come down to who gets hot and who has injuries. Who is healthy. Good vision with those binoculars. Just kidding, Cisco. I've never heard that one, Knox. I've never heard that before. Uh, just be someone new. Let me tell you what I'm hoping for. Like if you made me, what would I hope for? Like what would I pull for? Like I want this year has been so messed the whole thing's so off the kilter. Like I want someone to win the national championship that's never won one. Like I want Indiana to win. I want Georgia Tech. I want Ole Miss. I'll even, Texas A&M. I want somebody new. Like I want complete newness. I don't want like the same guy. We play all these games and it's like damn Alabama and Ohio State in the championship. You know what I mean? Like I want somebody completely fresh. I want it completely just fresh. Any chance Bama brings back the white helmet, brother? I'll tell you this. I don't think so. I mean, I remember Coach Saban tried to change some stuff when we were there, and you would have thought that he was stomping on Bear Bryant's grave, man. I mean, those people lost their minds. I don't know what it is about, and what's this is. Let me tell you some things. We got some Ole Miss fans, I'm sure, over here at MPW. I know some of them are, because they've been following our show for a long time. You talking about? Well, I was joking the other day about like things pulling in the same direction. Like when we would go and like I remember, and this is as soon back as the last time I came with Matt. We opened the season. I don't remember. Some of the Ole Miss fans will know better than I do. I can't remember if it was 18 or 19, but we opened the season in Houston against Texas Tech, and we came out in all white uniforms. I'm talking about white helmet, white pants, white jerseys, a whole new look, and they were clean, they were fresh, and the amount of complaints and mad people. I mean, our phones, like the office phone line, was just for 2 weeks mad at us for doing that. were like mad at us for doing that. Pissed. And I'm like, now they got there wearing damn real tree helmets and shit. I'm like, damn. And they're celebrated for it. I was like, God dang, what are we doing? But those were fresh. I like all whites too. Evan, what things does Saban try to change at Bama? Oh, he told me the story one time. His first year, I think, his first year as a head coach at Alabama, they played it was when John Parker Wilson was the quarterback. They played somebody and they put the houndstooth like just on the collar. Just the collar of the jersey was houndstooth, and it like people were freaking pissed. They were losing their mind. Figure six says. What's going on here? Let's try this. Phone's not charging. 1 second. There it goes. There we go. Yeah, they were pissed about that. Tyler Sasser, do you think refs can make one team cover? Yeah, they can if they want to. And it wouldn't be hard. You can kill a drive with a holding call in a heartbeat. You can kill a drive with a holding call in a heartbeat. Tupelo Red, or I keep calling you Tupelo Red. I just look at the. I've gotten so used to looking at just your logo and seeing Rev 99 that I call you Tupelo Reb. So sorry, Tyler Reb. Chase has hinted before that there will be more than just helmets eventually. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. That's Chase's territory. I have like literally no clue. My favorite NFL unis. That's a good question. Several. Um, Probably a bunch. I don't know if I have a favorite. I didn't think about it. Austin, I would like to see a red Ole Miss helmet if they were going to Oregon of the SEC. We need uniforms. Give us red helmets with white stripes. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really care. I didn't mind mixing it up. I like to have an identity though. Could SEC go full-time refs to help fix the missed calls? I mean, they could, but like, I don't know. It's still, I don't know. It's just bad. I feel like I know why it's bad now because I called this about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't remember if I think I was. It goes back to all when I was at Arkansas State, and it continued through when I was at South. When I went back to South Alabama, there was like this partnership between the SEC and the Sun Belt, and it was like basically the Sun Belt refs were supposed to be like minor league of the SEC, and then like when Steve Shaw retired, and then Matt Austin, we lost all these really good white hats. They started immediately bringing up these Sun Belt guys. They stunk. Like I've been dealing with Ken Williamson all the way back to Arkansas State. Like I mean, I was like, this ain't it. We got to go find somebody else. And so it got to the point to like you knew when you did your, we would get the referee report, you know, and I'd be like, I just in the staff meeting, I'd just be like, oh shit. But you knew as coaches, you would know who calls what, how much they call it. But you know, for a long time, I mean, every one time I coached, for the most part, not all of them, but 90% of them were good. They let you play. Now, if you held at the point of attack and it led to an explosive play, they'd call you. But if you held 5 feet, you know, if your penalty did not affect the play, they wouldn't call it. Now they're calling everything. These games take forever. Think rumors of Heartline of Penn State have any validity? Again, Matt, Andrew, I think it's the same thing. Why would you pay someone $49.7 million? Okay. So I'm going to answer your question here. If you're the guy in the room, you're the AD at Penn State, and you just fired James Franklin, who 2 weeks before you fired him was a top three had the top three team in the country, and you lost to Oregon because a fumble got overturned. Okay. And you fired him, and he in that same calendar year that you fired him, he took your team to the national semifinals. So it's kind of the same reason. You're firing him because he didn't win a title. Can't win the big game. Are you writing a 49, basically a $50 million check to this guy and then going to hire a guy who's never been a head coach? Like, is that what you're doing as the guy in charge of doing that? Are you going to pay somebody $50 million and then you're turning to a guy that's never been a head coach before? I'm just That's a tough sell. He better win. You can't gamble. And here's the thing, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think Brian Hartline's a hell of a coach. Um, but why somebody asked me the other day is like, why did the head coach's situation get in such a mess it is? It's because ADs got more consumed about winning the press conference than they did winning football games. And that's bled over to the fans. The fans don't care as much about winning games as much as they do winning the press conference. Because if you cared really about winning games, you pick up the phone, you go, Jeff Brom, hey, you up? His name's rarely mentioned. But if he had a really good social media presence, he'd be the number one candidate in the world. What percentage of kids do you still choose the school based on development versus money? I don't know a percentage. Depends on the kid. It changes. Hunter Josh Pate said the same thing. What'd he say? Hunter? I don't know. I didn't hear him say anything about it. But Jeff Brom's a guy. Josh Pate, I'm sorry. What I say, Jeff? About winning the presser? Yeah, I've said that for a long time. I mean, ADs are consumed. And the problem is this, and it's not their fault. I mean, I'd do the job too if I got called. But about 20 something years ago, we went to this thing where ADs, they used to be from a coaching background and understand the sport. Now, why it's that way is most ADs now are fundraisers. They started working with fundraisers where they built relationships with donors. And so who have they spent their career trying to make happy? If you ask a coach what they care about, they want to win. They don't give a shit about what a booster thinks. They want to win. But a fundraising AD has been making boosters. They want to make the boosters happy. So they're trying to fight this deal. Like, hey, this guy, he's winning games, but he's also really cool and get our fans excited and sell season tickets. Like, winning is very low on the pecking order when it should be number one and the only thing you worry about. How long of a leash does Dion have, Nash? I think he's going to be there as long as he wants to be. I don't know if they can. I truly don't think they have the money to. I think he's got 6 years left on his deal. He just re-signed it. I don't think if he wants to stay, I don't think he's. I don't think they can afford to do anything with him. I think if he's not there, it's going to have to be his choice. Um, why is every Fox Big Noon kickoff game in fact not big? Because you got 18 teams in a league that's not very top heavy. It doesn't have a lot of balance. Or it's very top heavy, doesn't have a lot of balance. So it's hard to get those scheduled games. How much influence have you seen boosters have on coaching decisions? In my life, in my experience, none. I've been very fortunate there. One is like when I was on the group of five level. I mean, what are they? I mean, you don't have them. You don't have big boosters on a group of five level, not like that. And then, at Ole Miss and Alabama, they didn't have any effect on decision making. That's the thing about it. One of the biggest miss people misconstrue, and the thing that people don't understand is the people that actually give the really big bucks. They don't want to be involved. Like most of the like 99.9%, they just, hey, here's money, good luck to you. They'll support you. The ones that cut your nuts are the ones that give, 25, 50,000. The ones that give millions of dollars, they don't mess with you. It's the lower middle tier that think they own the stadium. They think they give a lot, but they really don't. Johnson says he hates 11 a.m. kickoffs. Have to be at the stadium at 6:45. Brother, I love 11 a.m. kickoffs. I love them. I know you don't, but I love them. That would be my pick. Because if it's 11 a.m., that means I get a half a day off. Um, does what does that say? Does rounding up at Obies count? Yeah, I do that. I round up at Obies. I'm now an official. By the way, I forgot. I meant to mention this on the podcast the other day. I'm now an official. I'm an official booster. I think of Ole Miss because I bought basketball season tickets for me and the kids. I'm a big college basketball fan. And I really like Chris Beard. Um, so I broke down and bought season tickets, but I had to donate to the foundation in order to get my seats. And so I got my little receipt where I got my receipt. Here it is right here. Look, got my receipt right here. Matter of fact, it's right here on my desk. Got it in the mail. I got my Ole Miss Athletics Foundation letter in the mail. Shout out to Denison. How about that? How about that? It's great. Give me your SEC winners this week. Tennessee, Georgia, Vandy, Auburn. Oh, I got to pick Mississippi State or Arkansas. Give me State just because they're so close. It's gonna be an interesting game. Which one am I missing? Oh, Ole Miss. Which one am I? What's the other game? I feel like I'm missing one. There's like 6 games. Man, 6 games this week. I like Cincinnati, Alexander. I feel like I'm being trapped. Why is Matt Rule hated so much? It feels like it's because his name is floated around. Penn State people hate him. Well, Penn State people hate him because he chose to stay at Nebraska. Simple. Um, sound like Hugh Freeze saying they're so close. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like you can't be like anything Hugh says right now. Like Hugh couldn't say it's right now if Hugh went outside and said it is partly cloudy with a little bit of sunshine. No, it's not. There's not a cloud in the sky where I'm at. No, it's not. Like Hugh can't win. Now, he's created it. He has created it. But he can't win right now. And so the truth is in the middle. It's like we live in a world that all right, Ole Miss is the number what? What's Ole Miss ranked? I know we got Ole Miss fans in here. What's Ole Miss ranked? Like sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, somewhere in there? Ole Miss is ranked in the top 10, right? Whatever they're ranked. All right. They're going to play South Carolina at home. They're ranked seventh. Thank you, Mark. They're going to play South Carolina at home on Saturday night. If Ole Miss wins by 2 points in 12 overtimes, the South Carolina fans are going to act like they lost by 1,000 points. Like when you lose, no matter how close the game is, we're in a world now that when you hit that L button, it might as well be 1,000 to nothing. But if you win, so when you lose, you lost to 1,000 to nothing. Not how close you were and the ball bounced this way and official made a call here or there. There's none of that. You just lost 1,000 to nothing. On the contrary, if Ole Miss wins the game, okay, no matter how close it is, they could play like absolute dog shit. Now there'll be some people pissed off, but most of the people be like, "Yeah, won an SEC game at home, whatever. A win, you feel like you won by 1,000 points." but it covers up your mistakes. Like as a coach, that was the one thing that was the hardest is when you played like shit and won because it was hard to get your players to understand we got lucky. The ball just happened to bounce our way. And so in Freeze's case, it's been different every game, but they lose by less by one score on the road against Oklahoma and Texas A&M. The fumble thing with Georgia, all right, and then go to overtime with Missouri. If the ball bounces their way a couple times, they may be 6-2 right now. You know what I mean? But it didn't. It didn't. And so a lot of people like it's not as good as it seems, and it's not as bad as it seems. The truth's kind of in the middle somewhere. They got problems, but so does everybody else. They got to find a way to win games. Hardest fan base on their coaches, not Alabama. Well, I had to go LSU this week, huh? LSU's got the trophy this week, right? All right, I appreciate the hell of you guys as always. If you're on TikTok and this bad boy right here is red, if you don't mind hitting that for the follow, we're trying to get to 100,000. We're like I don't know 100 and something short um, of 95,000. We're gonna try to get there. And I appreciate the hell out of you guys as always. Appreciate everybody on MPW Digital. Don't forget to go get your Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Also, don't forget to go to BetOnline.ag. You can go to the McCready and Siskey on Twitter. Go to McCready Siskey on Instagram. The link is right there in the bio. Again, sorry, because TikTok doesn't like links, YouTube doesn't like links. And you can click on that. That will get you under our window. BetOnline's awesome. It's what I've used since I've stopped coaching. It's what I use every week. And you can get $250 of bonus bets and 50% Bitcoin bonus is what I use. If you go and click that, it will be awesome. That helps the show out. Click it, sign up, use it. Helps the show a ton for our future endeavors. We appreciate the hell out of you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed weekend. Happy Halloween to everybody. Happy Halloween. Make sure you're nice to all the kids. Full-size candy bars only. We'll talk to you guys for the MPW Digital guys. We'll be on the post-game show, I think, at some point in time tomorrow. And then back on Monday with another edition of Mac 10 Monday with McCready and Siskey. And the future Lieutenant Governor of the State of Alabama, AJ McCarron. So thank you to Rain. Thank you to BetOnline.ag. Thank you to Kia of Meridian, where you can go and spin the wheel. Prime, Thompson's Paint and Body down in Saraland. All of our sponsors. We appreciate the hell out of you. Until next time, take care.